Hey guys, welcome back to the Prehistoric Life Podcast. And today, yes, the setup is a little different. I just different locations, so I'm just doing with what I can, just as I can. And this is actually the second take I've done of this. So I apologize for the first one. Don't know what happened to the audio. I'm hoping that this has the actual audio to it. And yeah. So, but let's dive right into today's dinosaur. It is Daspletosaurus. I know, what a crazy monster dinosaur. Daspletosaurus, meaning frightful lizard, is a genus of tyrannosaur dinosaur that lived in Laramedia between about 78 and 74.4 million years ago during the late Cretaceous period. The genus Daspletosaurus contains three named species. Fossils of the earlier type species D. torosus have been found in Alberta, while fossils of later species D. horneri have been found only in Montana. D. wilsoni has been suggested as an intermediate species between D. torosus and D. horneri and evolved through like just time, but this theory has been disputed. So it's not quite like that easy where don't know what's going on there. Hang on, there's an echo. Okay, I think I fixed that. It's not as easy as just like, oh, it's here now. Sorry for that echo, by the way. I don't know what happened there for a second. There are also multiple specimens which are represent or which may represent new species of Daspletosaurus from Alberta and Montana. But these have not been formally described. The taxon Thanatootherus has been suggested to represent a species of Daspletosaurus degrutorum, but this has not been widely supported. Daspletosaurus is closely related to such larger and more recent Tyrannosaurus rex, which most tyrannosaurids, which like most tyrannosaurs, Daspletosaurus was a large bipedal predator with an average adult measurement 8.5 to 9 meters or 28 to 30 feet and weighs 3 metric tons, 3.3 short tons. However, the largest potential specimen measures around 11 meters, 36 feet long, and weighs up to 5 metric tons, 5.5 tons. Daspletosaurus had the small forelimbs typical of tyrannosaurs, although they were potentially longer than in other tyrannosaurids. So to basically give y'all this very fun history while I try to pull this up. If you hear me trying to pull this up, give me a second. Daspletosaurus is a later taxon for tyrannosaurids. It is not the earliest of tyrannosaurids. I'm trying to pull up my dinosaur family tree to show this off, but it is struggling to load. But some basic things. Like I said, it was found in North America. Its diet was primarily other animals and dead animals, like most tyrannosaurs. It was probably a hunter. It shared the ecosystem and had a rivalry probably with Gorgosaurus and was about 10 feet tall. Probably lived in packs. I cannot confirm that because Tyrannosaurids kind of losing there. Lived in forest plains, used its teeth as its primary weapons, and a large tail for balance, of course, as per the usual for most Tyrannosaurids. This is actually last episode's. Here we go. Maybe not. While we wait for that to load, like Daspletosaurus in the same family genre group as Quinzosaurus. No, that's Aleoramus. Sorry. Daspletosaurus was towards the end. Makes well, it is the same taxon group. It's Tyrannosaurid, but it's not just okay. I don't know what this thing is doing. Here we go. So here is Daspletosaurus is thing. As you can see, it was towards the end. Harbosaurus and T-Rex are down here, but you have Daspletosaurus torsus and Daspletosaurus horneri over there. They are, of course, the species that I mentioned, and wilsoni is kind of in between those to kind of link them. But yeah, Daspletosaurus, of course, it, like I said, carnivore, hunted. Sorry, there were technical difficulties. I don't know what happened there, but I was able to kind of rush to fix that. As I was saying, as an apex predator equipped with dozens of large sharp teeth, this Daspletosaurus was at the top of the food chain, probably preying on large dinosaurs like ceratopsids, centrosaurus, and the hadrosaurids, uh, Hapcrosaurus in some areas. Uh, Daspletosaurus coexisted with another tyrannosaur, Gorgosaurus, like I said earlier, though there is some evidence of niche differences between the two. Daspletosaurus fossils are not common as other tyrannosaurid fossils. The available specimens allow some analysis of the biology of these animals, including social behavior, diet, and life history. So we don't necessarily know everything about these creatures, of course, because they're dead, but we have a lot to go on. While very large by the standard of modern predators, the Daspletosaurus was not the largest tyrannosaurid. Adults could reach up to 8.5 to 9 meters, 28 to 30 feet, from the snout to the tail, a hip height of 2.2 meters, about 7.2 feet, and a body mass of 2 to 3 metric tons, which is about 2.2 to 3.3 short tons. However, there is one potential specimen of D. torosus, or a new unnamed species, CMC VP 15826, nicknamed Pete III, that suggests the genus could reach lengths of nearly 11 meters or 36 feet. The weight 5 metric tons, 5.5 short tons. So there's a lot that could go into truly knowing these things. But it is any one dinosaur on their own doesn't do much. If you just look at the one dinosaur, I mean, you can learn a lot about that one dinosaur. You could become a Daspletosaurus expert and just know everything about Daspletosaurus, go find Daspletosaurus and do all that. But the key to most dinosaurs is that they aren't necessarily the end of their lineage. There are a few like Tyrannosaurus and Triceratops that were kind of the famous end all be all of their respective lineages. But the real thing is to telling the like how do I put this? The evolution of these creatures. So being able to go like, oh, Daspletosaurus later, not necessarily Daspletosaurus on its own, but like Tyrannosaurus was after Daspletosaurus. So maybe there's some kind of correlation or context there. But that's all from me for right now. So if you want to see more content from me, go check out my Instagram, Prehistoric Life Podcast. You can see reels, posts, all kinds of things. And if you want my content 2-ish days in advance, this one will probably be this episode. I do apologize again for it being later in the day because I don't know what happened. The audio just did not work. And it started doing that again while I was trying to figure out whatever was going on during the technical difficulty. But I think I got it. I hope I got it figured out. And if you want all my content in one place, go check out my website, prehistoriclifepodcast.com. From there, you can get to my YouTube and my Instagram. And before we end the episode, here's a quick word from today's sponsor. So take it away.
Thanks, Podcast Eric. Now let's talk about today's sponsor, Dinosaur Trips. If you love looking at these amazing creatures that I show you, and even talking about these amazing creatures that I talk about, and you want to go see them in real life, I heavily suggest you look at Dinosaur Trips. Dinosaur Trips, created by Zach, gives you behind-the-scenes in-look at museums, and he even takes people out to digs. So if you sound interested in that, go to www.dinosaurtrips.com and tell them that Prehistoric Life sent you, and they will give you $250 off your tickets. And here's their Instagram if you're interested in giving them a follow.
So that is all from me for right now. I am your host, Eric Crawford, signing off. This has been Prehistoric Life Podcast. I will see you all next time. And have a good afternoon, evening, morning, night, whatever time it is for you. And remember, keep it prehistoric. Goodbye.